predatory live-bearing fish. I think these might be the only ones. These are a native tiny nano fish. Got a really nice snakeskin pattern on the body. Unique lines of endlers that you won't find anywhere else. Welcome back to the fish cave. It's been a while. First things first, I titled the video, No More Tanks in the Garage, because I simply cannot fit any more tanks in this garage. That's right. Tanks are not gone, we've got more. Now that that's out of the way, I want to catch up a little bit, explain to you guys what I've been up to, what the plans are for the future. Instead of explaining to you what the plans are for the future, we'll do a tour around and I'll kind of talk about each of the individual tanks as we do that. Here's a hint, a lot of breeding. And as far as what I've been up to the past 9 months to a year, number one, definitely still heavily involved in fish tanks, getting fish, breeding fish, local fish clubs and that kind of stuff. And that's been going really well. Number two, trying to take a little more care of myself health-wise, not getting any younger. I'm not old, but not getting any younger. So I've been trying to drop some pounds and take a little better care of myself. And that's been going up and down. It's been going okay, hit and miss, but progress is being made. So I've also spent a lot of time following my Indianapolis Colts. If you guys aren't aware, outside of fish keeping, one of my other big passions is following the Colts. And this season didn't go so hot. As a matter of fact, much better. Let's get to the fish tour. Start with kind of an overview of the room, and then we're gonna go kind of rack by rack. I have these set up on automatic lights, so to cut that on the glare, we'll go section by section, and I'll cut the lights off of one section so they don't glare into the next. But this just gives you an idea of the entire layout of the current state of the fish cave here in the garage. We're gonna start with this rack back there, simply because it's the newest. I don't think you guys have seen that. Probably start there, then work around with some of these bigger tanks in the middle, hit up that row. Then we got some cool stuff up front there, really neat stuff, actually wild caught. Then we'll go through this middle section here, and then we'll finish off with the big rack over here, all these 20 longs. But let's jump into this system. These are a bunch of 10 gallons up here. There's 12 10 gallons and then 2 40 breeders down below. We don't have many species of rainbow fish in the fish cave. As a matter of fact, I think these might be the only ones. But these are awesome. These are the dwarf neon praecox rainbows, and these are special. These are like the great grandkids of the original group I got as eggs from Tom at Team Aquatics like 2.5 years ago. I originally was not going to keep them anymore. I had sold off the adults, and then I noticed there was about like 8 left. There was like 10 little tiny fry in the tank. So I grew those up, and then I have these here. And the long term to keep these is just going to breed them. I got a spawning mop in there now. As you can see, this subwasser tang has a lot of hair algae taking over it. But I'm going to breed them for the Breeders Award program. You'll notice that about a lot of these fish, there's a common theme. Either I'm going to breed them to sell them, or breed them for the Breeders Award program at my local fish club, and then move on from them most likely. With these, I've bred them a couple times, but not since I've been doing the Breeders Award program. As you can see, the red ones there, the male. We got actually a nice ratio. I think there's only 2 males and maybe 6 females in there. But really cool fish. Next tank over, we got some calico plecos in here, kind of like cull. These are not really nice looking plecos. They're just kind of in here because I don't want to sell them. But you can see also there's pygmy sunfish. And there's another tank of these pygmy sunfish. These are Elosoma evergladii. Looks like a nice little female right there. These are a native tiny nano fish. And you're looking at almost a full grown fish right there. They do not get huge. They stay at about inch and a half. We're gonna see more of them in a different tank just in another minute in this same rack system. Got our first live bears, first endlers here. These lights are making these things look extra blue, but they are a nice blue color. These are what they call like a Japan blue. I think I got this strain off of Aquabid. And let's see here, the males aren't as blue as they're looking with that neon blue, but they're more of a sky blue. And they have a double sword tail and a very nice, bottom sword tail and a very nice dorsal fin too. But still got a lot of live bears, guppies, endlers in the fish cave, including these yellow tiger endlers. You can see there's a nice little male and a bunch of females, as well as juveniles and stuff. You'll notice pleco cave, These are the same pleco caves I sell on the website, wildfishtanks.com. I got them set up for a lot of my pairs. There's one right there. It's a lemon blue eye. We'll come across them in a lot of these tanks. We're going to see some fry as well as far as the plecos are concerned. But I set up most of my tanks, 10s, 20 gallons, to breed them with these 1.5-inch D caves. And you'll, like I said, you'll see that consistently. Here is that tank I was telling you about with some more of the Evergladii pygmy sunfish. This tank has some gravel and a lot of moss. You'll notice a lot of the tanks in my fish room have plants. They're mostly just Java moss as well as guppy grass, maybe some subwasser tank, something like that. Very low care plants, non-aquascape tanks, really just kind of thrown in there to give the tank or give the fish some protection and also help the water quality as well. There's at least killie fish in there, but there's mostly these pygmy sunfish. They like to hide in the leaves. Whenever I collect these in the wild, they're almost always in the leaf litter or in the plants, vegetation. Last tank on the top row here, we got some Medaka Japanese rice fish. I got these as babies. They're supposed to be Yama blood. They're not as reddish as I'd like. And there's some female 24 karat gold guppies. Hoping I get a few drops from these. I lost my males. That's been a name of the game a lot with these live bears. Over the last couple of years, I've been getting a lot of strains in from Aquabid, eBay, wherever it may be, AquaSwap on Reddit. And, sometimes you luck out and you strike gold and you get a really nice pair that breeds true and they're very, very prolific. Other times they don't breed true or you lose the males or whatever. Also got some orange shrimp going on in here. Not a ton of shrimp anymore in the fish cave. Got a couple strains, but haven't been focusing on it a ton. Gonna move down one, and we got some El Silverado endlers. I did just feed some of these tanks some pellets and stuff, so you can see a bunch of these endlers kind of going crazy down here. I like this strain. They're really kind of this white silver color. I don't know how well it's coming up. These LED lights, I like them. They look good in person. On the video, they're kind of a little bluer. So everything's got a blue tint, which is cool, but it's different. Moving over, this is kind of an experimental strain, not for sale or anything. These I got from a buddy, shout out to Magnus. He hooked me up with these. They were just males though, so these females in here from a different strain of endler that I'm trying to work on to get these they're like a half black, half yellow. If you're familiar with the Santa Maria, they have that same or similar pattern as the Santa Maria, whereas the color is split top and bottom. However, these guys are yellow and black as opposed to an orange and black with the Santa Maria. This is a cool little endler I have just working on. Like I said, not available on the website right now like a lot of these fish are, but hopefully in the future that's the goal. And also some red shrimp. This is probably my nicest shrimp right now in the fish room, or this line of red shrimp right here. Another 10-gallon tank. This thing is a mess right now. There's a bunch of coolie loaches in here. I shout out to a local friend, Frank. I picked up a bunch of fish from him from his fish room, and he had all these nice chubby fish. I've never bred coolie loaches, but my goal is going to be to hopefully breed them. Hopefully, we'll see. Speaking of friends in the fish world, these are a really cool guppy that I got from a friend, a subscriber, follower on Instagram and YouTube, Eric. He hooked me up with these. As you can see, I got males and females for sure. They've bred for me. Haven't really boomed, but now I got a couple females. I was down to like 2 females. Got a couple females now, but just a really nice guppy, kind of like a platinum shiny body with a really high fire dorsal. Just nice strain of guppy for sure. Keep it rolling on the guppy train. These are these half black platinums. So they're kind of like this, I've heard them also called like volcano, but they're kind of like a half black guppy. The females are nice half black. The males are half black as well, but they're more of a platinum in the front body, and they have red. You can see that red kind of in their tail as well. So a really nice looking guppy. These should be available soon, but still loving my live bears for sure. These are like a wild type live bear. These are called a Cuban limia. I think it's limia vitata, like vitata. But they're these are some juveniles. I had a pair in here and they dropped 2 fry. They're kind of speckled. They got some black speckles and an orange. The male is right in front of us. He's a kind of a, they're not a thick fish. The female's a little fatter. He's right in front of us, so you can barely see him. But he's just this is a cool fish. My goal for these is to breed them for the Breeders' Reward program. Not a fish you see a ton of. Like I said, I've got a couple fry, but unfortunately not a ton right now. But hopefully we'll get a few more drops from them. Let's take a look at these 40 breeders. Hop on my trusty mechanic stool. Probably my favorite purchase here in the fish cave. Lets me scoot around quick. These are some longfin growouts. We got some browns and some albinos, as well as some calicos. Really proud of my calico longfins. They're a nice finnage, but nice, really nice coloration as well. Like a lot of the longfins you see aren't as orange. You see that's a short fin. But I think my strain has got a nice, just as nice as my regular calico, but just nice and long fin. We also got some double sword guppies in here as well. Kind of just that nice greenish blue double sword. Hoping to grow some more of those out. Those are a big seller for sure. And the plecos are too. A lot of the longfin albinos, longfin in general, very, very popular. And over here, another 40 breeder, more plecos. These guys are short fin calicos. These guys came from some longfin parents, and I culled them because they're not longfin, so they do have the longfin genes. But I'm not going to sell them as longfin, obviously, because they're not. This guy is a nice longfin albino that I'm growing out. Just a lot of plecos. Let's shift over to these 55s over here. We were just at this rack system. I turned those lights off. I also turned the overhead light off, so hopefully there's even less glare. There's a lot of algae on this tank, which I don't really care about because, like I said, this is another pleco grow out. You can see these nice longfin plecos, nice longfin calico plecos. Even behind that algae, all this green spot algae, they're looking nice. And you can see these tuxedo koi guppies. Also, probably one of my favorite strains of guppies in the fish room. I'm a little male heavy right now, so I don't have them available, but they should be listed soon. Since all the fish I have on my website are locally bred, it takes time. I can't just, go buy more necessarily. The longfin calicos should be in stock, although they do sell out quick. More longfin plecos down here. I got some really nice looking super reds. Actually, let's do this. I'm going to show you some babies. The male in here is on wigglers, so I'm gonna grab that. I'm gonna grab the cave and show you guys real quick. This next 55 down here, there's just some more super red grow outs. You can see a couple tiny ones on the sponge filter as well as the back wall there, as well as some older ones. But let's keep it moving for the sake of time. Got a lot of plecos, so let's hear something a little different. These are actually some Lake Tanganyikan cichlids. The black one right there is actually a Julidochromis dickfeldi, but it's a special gene morph called a midnight blue, you'll hear it called, and it's kind of this dark black blue. There's a pair in here. I've bred, we'll see a little later, it's hard to see, there's one hanging out under here, but we'll see a little later that I have some juveniles, and paired with these guys are another, you can kind of see the black and blue there. Put the flashlight in them, on them. These guys in the back there, these are a Cyprichromis leptosoma. So if you're familiar with Lake Tanganyikan cichlids, these are kind of like they're kind of like rainbow fish, I call them, spooked him, because there's like a gray sardine cichlid. They're known as a sardine cichlid. They don't look like much now. I've only had them for like a month or two, but they're gonna get these nice bright purples. You can see this guy kind of getting them a little bit purple on the back, but they're gonna kind of get purples and oranges. So really cool fish. Down here, surprise, surprise, more plecos. We got some albino plecos. We got some long fin albino plecos. It's really, really nice looking fish. Where's this? Really nice looking fish, just breeding tanks, 40 breeder down here. There's actually some goodyids. It's gonna be hard to see them, but there's actually some tequila split fin goodyids in here as well. Big shout out to Ocoee Aquatics. I picked them up from him not too long ago. More plecos. We've got our super reds. It's a good look at the quality of super reds we pump out of the fish cave. I hesitate to say they're perfect, but you know, I'll put them up against most people's. Just nice looking fish with very minimal brown in them. And you can see once again, there's babies growing out in here, little tiny babies all along the bottom. You'll notice the bottom of these tanks, a lot of them bare bottom, tons of mulm and stuff. I actually did a water change yesterday. I don't suck out all the mulm every time I do a water change on these big tanks. I just don't find it necessary. They seem to do just fine. They grow well and breed just fine with the plants and the mulm and all that stuff. These guppies, I originally got these from HC Aqua. Big shout out to him in Hawaii. These did really well. I kind of oversold these and I'm building back my colony right now. They're like a black guppy. The females are a really nice half black guppy. It's like kind of a silver gray body with a half black tail. And these males, as you can see, throughout the black body, they get this nice kind of patterning. They get this nice kind of patterning throughout the tail. So just nice fish overall. Down on the bottom, surprise, surprise, more guppies and more grow out plecos. You see some, there's calico plecos down here. Look on the wood, there's gonna be more fish for sure. There always is some larger ones underneath the wood. These would be like kind of more closer to the 2-inch size pleco. You can see, once again, calico, super red marbles, not these dirty, muddy super reds, but just nice tank of them growing out down here. These are probably, like, in my opinion, the most underrated fish in the fish room. These guppies are like a sky blue double swordtail, and I think they're amazing. I don't know what the camera's doing for them. They sell, they definitely sell, but they don't sell as much as I think they would. But to each his own. I know a lot of people have different opinions. This is definitely one where I'm surprised it doesn't sell more. It's fairly popular, but definitely not as popular as I would think. But just got the nice sky blue with the yellow double sword. There's also a pair of plecos in here, probably longfin calico breeders, but they're probably hiding in the wood or in the cave. More plecos down here. We got some Santa Maria endlers. Colony sold a lot of the colony, so it's kind of thin right now. Also got a pair of super reds down there, just short fin super reds. This tank is one of my favorite tanks. It's got really 3 cool species. You're looking at the guppies right now. They're a red snakeskin. So the females get a little bit of red on their tail. Males get this nice red in their tail. And let's see if we can focus in on some of the body shape here, because it's got a nice pattern in the body. It's not a full red. Yes, it's not that nice snakeskin. So it's got a really nice snakeskin pattern on the body. I picked these up at my local club, the Pascal Aquarium Club, right north of Tampa. There's orange laser cories in here, as well as wobbin monster plecos. And of course, there's nothing under there. Those are all the orange laser cories scurrying on the bottom here. A lot of moss and stuff in this tank. But just really cool as grow out projects. Once again, more plecos. We've got some short fin lemon blue eyes growing out, along with some of these dragon guppies. Kind of a really cool body color and pattern as well. Females get some size to them. Just a nice fish. Lots of hair algae in here as well. Over here, a lot of the same thing, just different strain of guppies. So more lemon blue eye grow outs. There's also some albino and brown longfin grow outs that are really tiny. And then this strain of guppies, one I've had for a long time, since like 2.5 years, 3 years now. I got this strain of guppies, the English red double sword. I got them at the 2019 Guppy show in Ocala, the Florida Fancy Guppy show in Ocala. I picked up just a pair, and I bred them, spread them over tanks, combined them back, yada, yada, yada. Cool strain of guppies. And yeah, it's one that I've had, maybe my longest strain of guppy in the fish room. These fish in here are really cool. I don't think I know anybody. Well, let's talk about this guy since he's lighting up right now. I was gonna hit the flashlight on him, but I don't even need to. These are the neon blue Paracyprochromis. They're still young fish, so they're not yet all the way colored up. You can kind of see how they're gonna come through. But they're a Lake Tanganyikan cichlid, kind of like the Cyprichromis. These are called Paracyprichromis nigripinus, with a blue neon cichlid. And then these guys look like a Juliochromis, but they're not. I've never seen these guys. These are the ones, I don't think I've seen anybody with these. And these are called the Channelachromis Popolini or Popolini. I just call them Popolini. Channelachromis Popolini. But they're kind of cool, like that Juliochromis torpedo shape. No breeding activity yet, but these are F1s, and they should be of mature size. Got some shell dwellers over here. These are just the multis. More Medaka rice fish. These guys are some more red Yama bloods. These guys are a little nicer. They look more orange, but they just have more color than the other strain I got. Rice fish, if you're not familiar with them, definitely look into them. I got a couple videos about breeding them and stuff. Really cool fish. These are another strain of guppy, kind of a yellow lace, it's like a metal head yellow lace guppy. So you see the males kind of like got like a dark black gray face and the nice yellow tail. They just started dropping for me. Once again, just another fish club pickup. These guys were not a fish club pickup. These were actually these were an aquabid purchase. These are the Stayoc endler. I've got a lot of different types of endlers. You'll see in the big rack system we're going to cover last. I have like probably 15 or 20 different endler strains, and I keep them all separate. You know, all my live bears I keep separate. I don't mix and match. Same thing with my plecos. You know, I keep the calicos, lemon blue eye. Speaking of lemon blue eye, we got a papa. I don't know if he's on eggs or not. Some more rice fish. These are an orange colored rice fish. These were actually sold as orange, and they're orange. So these actually got a decent color for orange rice fish. These weren't sold as like Yama blood reds. But hopefully I got like 6 or 8 of them. Should be dropping fry soon. Speaking of fry, these guys have dropped fry for me. These are an endler I got off of Aquabid, and they're like an N-class, supposed to be like a pure N-class Campona blue endler with a snakeskin. Campona blue snakeskin, I think it's like number 42 or something, but a really cool endler. This over here is an endler project that kind of actually didn't do so hot for me. This was a tank I bought, really expensive. I think I paid $50 for a pair of endlers, and they were supposed to be these flame tail endlers. And the male came out looking nice, but when they bred, they did not breed true. So it was kind of like $50 just flushed down the drain for some, you know, mixed endlers type deal. Before we take a look at this middle rack system here, as well as this main big rack system, I want to focus on these 2 cool tanks right here real quick. A lot of cool native fish while we still have light outside, because I don't have lights on these tanks. But there's a lot of just native fish. These are sailfin mollies, as well as golden top minnows here. Some ones with the black specks. Those are actually melanistic golden top minnows. They don't have a lot of red in them right now, kind of faded out. This guy right here is kind of like the dominant male. As you can see, he's got a lot of red in him. That's a big golden top minnow. A little skittish right now as I just opened up the garage door on him. But these down here are super cool. I don't think there's many videos on these at all. These are a live bear, as you can tell, hopefully by the gonopodium, just like a guppy. And that's a male. That's a male. As you can see, they're long and narrow. These are not gar. These are actually a pike live bear. They're native to Mexico and Central America, and they have been introduced. They're invasive down here in Florida. But the males will get about 4 inches. The females will get about 8 inches. So they're a predatory live bearing fish. Pretty cool looking fish. Like I said, not a lot of information on them out there. Not very common. I'm hoping to breed them. They're a live bear, and as you can see, they're in here with some gambusia. Those are just some big, let's see, it's like a grandpa gambusia with a hump in its spine. These are on a friend's fish farm that I grabbed as food. You know, believe it or not, these are going to be live bears eating live bears. These big females will definitely chomp down on that gambusia that's half her size, no problem. That's what they do. That's why they're designed like that. Ambush predators. There's been stories of like big 8-inch females swallowing, you know, 4-inch, 5-inch males when they're hungry enough. So that's why I keep plenty of live food in here. Not a big proponent of live foods in general, but these guys are a fish that need it. All right, we're in the center tower rack now. We'll cover this side and then flip around to the other side. We got some really cool endlers. These kind of are special because they came from a gentleman named Alan Bias. He actually writes like scientific papers and works on like genes, but he specifically works with like swordtails, lower swordtails, double swordtails, upper swordtails, and he's known for his genetics. And it was kind of cool. I was blown away. I had heard about him. He actually reached out to me because he's interested in some of the swordtail guppies I had, and he wanted to buy some from me. And instead, I was like, no. Let me trade. Let me get some of your guppies, dude. You know, so I wanted to get some of his guppies in my fish room. So I was lucky enough to trade with Alan Bias and get some of his really cool lower swordtail. I think it goes a blonde blunt lower sword. And then he has some of the double swords that I've worked with. Moving over here, this is where I keep my Anubias catfish tree. It's actually, these are the Synodontis petricola that I bred, but these are the ones, I sold a bunch, and these are the ones left over that I'm gonna bring to the Breeders Award program for points. But they love hanging out like in caves, and there's a cave in this tank, but these guys, for whatever reason, they love to hang out in this Anubias and all these moss and stuff. But it's really cool and really rewarding to, you know, breed your own little fish and watch them, and, you know, these are babies. Also fish I bred, these are babies of the Juliachromis Dickfeldi Midnight Blue. There's a couple of those in here too. There's like a juvenile. They grow slow like most Lake Tanganyikans. Coming down here to this next tank, just kind of a nice all black guppy. I don't think they're black Moscows, but it's a nice all black guppy. The females are kind of silver with black in them. And then we got some pleco action going on in here too. There's some lemon blue eyes. We also have long fin albino plecos. You can see some of the babies down there. I think Dad's in the cave again. You can see, I don't know if he's on eggs right now, I don't think so. But he's in the cave, nice long fin albino dad. Down here, we got some more shell dwellers. This tank is a mess. You can see all the freaking algae just growing everywhere. These are the gold ocellatus. I got a tank set up, one of the 10-gallon tanks above my sink. My countertop has some old gold ocellatus. These guys are cherry barbs. These were at my local fish store for a while, and he just had some really bright red males and a couple chunky females. So I just picked these up to literally stick in a tank to hopefully breed them for my Breeders Award points program and then move on from them. It's a fish I haven't kept in a long time, and I've never bred. So it'll be my first barb, hopefully, to breed. And as you can see, this whole tank is kind of choked out with Java moss. There's actually a couple more of them in there. I think it's like 6 total, 2 trios. I got these from Aquafunk. Big shout out to Jay. You can see the back of one right there. These are the electric blue Acara. It's actually a pair. He gave them to me. He didn't know if they were a pair or not. They were still kind of juveniles. And then they laid eggs. They were in a 55-gallon. They laid eggs. See if we can kind of see through there. I knew they weren't going to come out. Literally, before I turned all the lights off, when I was just getting started, these guys were like freaking dancing. I was like, oh my gosh, they look beautiful. These are just some half black guppies, just pure half black guppies. There's a pair of plecos in there somewhere as well, short fin calicos in that tank. This tank has some long fin albinos. It's actually a long fin albino female and a chocolate male. So you can see there, they're fry. We got some albino and some brown. Down here, we got a green water tank. No, I was not going for the green water, but no, I don't care that I have it. Actually, these are some more of those red snakeskin guppies. I got this pair before the other group, and they weren't breeding for me. But ever since this water's turned green, I've actually noticed a couple fry in there. I hope you can scoot it away. But ever since I noticed the water turned green, there's a couple fry in there. There's actually some scuds in there too. So that's like a green water scud slash guppies. Down here is my breeding stir-by Ocoee tank. I just reset them up. Haven't bred for me in a while. I probably got to add more plants maybe. I definitely have mature males and females, that's for sure. Also have some guppies. As you can tell, I pair guppies and catfish a lot. You made it to the final countdown. We're gonna go through the last set, the last rack system here. Those 2 tanks don't even have lights on them. We're gonna go through these last tanks. We got a nice mix. Got some nice cool Lake Tanganyikan cichlids in here. We got some nice cool plecos in here. Got a lot of wild type live bears. A whole mix of stuff in this this big rack system. So let's finish strong here. This is a tank full of Limia tiburon. These are really cool Limia. I picked these up from Jose, my friend Ocoee Aquatics here locally. As you can see, the males really get a nice like orange at the top of their top dorsal fin. Just a really cool fish. Females get a little more, bigger. And we got some short fin lemon blue eyes in here as well. Over here we have some Cuban Libearers. He's a black chin Cuban Libearer. I have a string I'm working on that's kind of has a black and an orange chin. And then also have some super reds. You can see a female there. There's a male sticking out of the cave. Moving over here, we got some endlers. These are the scarlet endlers. Nice kind of just red scarlet look to them. Kind of got a little bit of a double sword tail on the back end. We got some lemon blue eye plecos in here. We got some short fin and long fin lemon blue eye plecos in here with these scarlet endlers as they come in nice bright red on these guys. Another tank over here of the Cuban Libearers. These guys are the pure yellow bellies. They have no black in them, just the pure yellow all down the belly and the gonopodium. Just a really cool fish. A little more feisty than a guppy per se, a little bigger. Appreciates a little bit of salt, native to Cuba, hence the name Cuban Libearer. But just a cool fish. We got some calico plecos in there. You can see the male's tail kind of sticking out. I'm gonna drop lower on this tank, or on this rack, this side of the rack system. Got a bunch of black bar endlers, as you can see. Nothing special. Just a nice string of black bar endlers. For the most part, they have kind of that double sword on the back. Just healthy, breed true. More Medaka rice fish. These are supposed to be those tri-colored rice fish. They're nice, kind of sparkly in them. I definitely see two colors. The third color, I think if I kept them outside, we'd get more of that black in them. You can kind of see the orange and the white sparkles. I did see pictures of the parents, and I trust the guy I got them from. I probably just gotta put them outside, and I'd get more of that third dark color coming through, where we get the nice tricolor pattern on the rice fish. These are the ones that I've kind of had for the longest time as far as rice fish are concerned. These are the platinums. My Ocoee platinums are kind of blue and platinum colored. We also have some long fin albino plecos down here. See, this is probably the biggest pleco I have, is this nice long fin albino male that he's sticking out of the cave there. And there's his female right there. More wild type Libearers, also courtesy of my buddy Jose at Ocoee Aquatics. These are the humpback limias. Really cool looking fish. I got a couple pairs in here. Haven't bred these guys yet, but obviously that is the goal. Nice male, and well, two males and two females, hence two pairs. But that male is really nice right there. These are the Labidochromis atiniatus. I picked these up at the American Libearer Association. I had a really good time down there. These guys are still juvenile, so I'll flash a picture of what they're gonna look like when they get adults. Big shout out to my friend Carly for letting me know what the heck they were at the auction down there, because I was trying to scramble for the Latin name, and she knew what it was, so she hooked me up. And here's Helianthus. These guys are always hiding, so once again, I'll put a picture of them up there. These are, like I said, Lake Tanganyikan cichlids. These are some more Lake Tanganyikan shell dwellers. These are the Pearly ocellatus, or the Melagris. The scientific name is Melagris, but the common name is Pearly ocellatus. Really cool fish. Haven't bred these yet, but hoping to very soon. Speaking of, I mentioned the ALA just before. I already bought my tickets to the Triple Crown event this year, so that's one thing I'm hoping to get to, is the Triple Crown event. These are my breeding pair, those Dickfeldi Midnight Blues. That guy's kind of hiding right there. Over here, we got some Synodontis petricola. So these are catfish from Lake Tanganyika, along with some daffodil cichlids. Those are kind of in that Bashardi complex, just like the Helianthus. They're kind of similar looking, just different color patterns. But these Synodontis petricola are some of my favorite fish. This is my breeding colony. We checked out some of the babies in that Anubias tree. But yeah, I love these guys. They kind of swim like a shark. I'm excited to have, be breeding them now. I wouldn't say I've cracked the code 100%, but I've bred them a couple times successfully now. This right here is another tank of multi-shell dwellers, and whoever said you can't keep multis with plants lied to you. This is my breeding tank. They breed a ton in here, and there's an adult right there. Down here, my Lalupi. Bred these guys a couple times. Haven't bred them in a while. They're kind of hiding in the back right now. This is my colony of blue star endlers. These guys are really popular. Once again, the blue light kind of makes them look too fake, too blue. But I have a lot of compliments about these guys. Super prolific. These are like one of my #1 sellers, if not my #1 seller. Yet this colony at 20 long stays booming because they are super prolific. One of my favorite endlers for sure. This is a bunch of flagfish. I do a lot of collecting. A lot of the videos you're going to see coming out in the next couple weeks and months are going to be collecting adventures. Some really cool stuff. This is the fish I come across fairly often now. It's a great algae eater, very hardy. Just a really neat native species. This is a tank of lime green endlers, kind of a lower swordtail lime green endler. Over here we got a nice strain of guppies. These things are awesome. These are the Thai roundtail, yellow Thai roundtail guppies. So you'll see the kind of nice black and yellow roundtail in the males. Just a really nice pattern. This is a fish you don't see that often. You see some black and yellow fish. I really like this round tail to them. You can see the male just showing off. Down over here, we've got those red-chested endlers. They're kind of like a black bar endler, but a little more red. Really nice fish. You know, I think these are kind of more of like a, if you're an endler aficionado, they're a cheaper strain. If you're just getting into them, or if you like want to collect all the strains, which I kind of played like live-bearer Pokemon the past 2 years, where I had to collect them all, like all the different, you know, strains of endlers and guppies. Pretty much, I went on a hunt, and if I thought it was pretty cool and I didn't have it already, I pulled the trigger on it. These are where I keep a lot of the least killifish. Keep some darters in here too. Maybe a couple bluefin killifish as well. But for the most part, there's a lot of least killies in here. They're a live-bearer like guppies, but instead of having huge batches, they kind of plop them out like a conveyor belt. So you may see kind of a couple babies here, a couple babies there, but just a really neat, cool nano fish. Some LT gray endlers. Once again, if you're looking for like some really specific kind of cool, they got a more green to them with a vertical black bar. Just a neat strain. I do actively cull and keep all my strains pure as possible. You see a male super red kind of hanging there, nestled between the cave and the side of the glass. You're supposed to be in the tank, or in the cave, buddy. And then over here, we got a really special endler. We got some blue shrimp in the back there, but we got a really special endler. These are called an Arizona snakeskin endler. You don't find endlers that often with that snakeskin pattern. I said I have 2 different strains in the fish room that have a snakeskin pattern, endler-wise. The one is those Campona number 42s, I think they are, and then these guys, which are the Arizona snakeskin. I got these guys from a really cool gentleman who has a website called the Endler Arc, and they're pretty expensive, but he maintains some really cool, unique lines of endlers that you won't find anywhere else. And these are definitely one of them. Like I said, getting some oranges and yellows, and the most unique thing, like I said, is that snakeskin, those kind of that dotted pattern in their belly. And as you can see, they do breed true. Really cool fish. Subscribe if you haven't, especially if you've stayed to the end of this long video. Appreciate you guys staying with me for my long absence. I got a lot of videos already filmed, already edited, in the hopper coming out. A lot of cool tours, a lot of farms. In my opinion, a lot of really good, high quality content, not too many filler videos. So I appreciate you rocking with me as always. Looking forward to getting back in the groove of things. And as always, stay positive, stay passionate.